besides the other, the one we see with our eyes. Hence, in this work, the particular parts from the nature acts as a tactile resource for Pohjola's poetic expression. And also this work will be shown in the Biennale, and in this stage it might be clear for you that actually you will see all these works in the exhibition, which are part of my slideshow today. And then to my own work. In my own expression, the direct connection to local nature is also important, as I prepare my own porcelain by using the bone of reindeer, this animal which lives in North Finland. The recent works are constructed of the fired, fragile ceramic tiles and hang up in the form of chandelier with horsehair, a nature's own thread. The origin of my works is often cultural female image. By printing these images with a silk screen to the ceramic tiles, I tell a story based on my own experiences as a woman. And when bringing these images to cracky ceramic surface, the images, I think that they kind of reveal their vulnerability. And I will continue my presentation by introducing the next cases under the topic slow. And this topic is connected to the idea of sustainable design and the fact that we should also think actually how we treat our environment. So inspiration for Tatu Vuorio's white moment jewelries come from the cold and windy snowfall day when the winds blows various shapes to the snowdrifts. For finding a right material to this work, he started researching various shapes from the different plastics by using blowing to heat to the material. So he found that by using a specific recycled plastic, which actually comes from the packaging of the beer, holders of the beer, actually 6 beer jars which you put together, by using this kind of waste material, he was able to represent perfectly his natural inspired idea. Also, Aino Favén uses in her recent work recycled materials, as she feels it is ethically better option than the use of raw ones. She reminds us that the most of our waste today is comprised of plastic, and plastic, which is made from petroleum, is in turn a material that the earth cannot digest. Nearly every bit of plastic that has ever been created still exists and releases toxic chemicals. In the oceans, plastic waste accumulates a swirling seas of garbage. This necklace, called garland, is made of recycled plastic bags. And according to the next artist, Johanna Lehtinen, we seem to build our lives and identity through products as we consume to live, but also vice versa. Plastic bag is probably one of the most visible items of our extravagant way of living, since it has an essential part of buying and disposal of goods. Even though plastic bags are problematic waste that can be seen here and there in the nature, one can also see contradictory beauty and tranquility and comforting stability in them, as they are marks of this era and remain long after we are gone. In a way, plastic bags could be seen as our remains. Her work, Remains, is a series of plastic bags turned into relics of memory objects made of cast porcelain. Through her pure designs, which also have a dimension of usability, Jatta Lavi wants to challenge us to discuss about the objects and the products around us. With her porcelain, milk and cream cartoons from the series Still Moments, she raises the question about the necessity and aesthetics of the objects. Through these works, the details in our everyday life that we usually ignore are captured in porcelain. The next cases will be discussed under the topic materiality. And in this section, the focus will be on the multiple ways how already existing objects and materials have been utilized as part of contemporary craft. So in Riikka Latvasompi's work, theory evolves to an experience. This experience may be intellectual, a cultural connection, a small amused insight, or simply a forgotten memory that reaches the first surface in a viewer's mind. The content series, which is this, one piece of this series, comments the idea of content in everyday life. Everyday objects are presented with glass as pouring, flowing, and rising contents. Simultaneously, the work discusses the supposition of the field of art, literature, showing pieces of glass art with content. Also, Carolina Slotte manipulates found objects, primarily second-hand plates, so that they take on new meanings. She works directly with the ceramic by cutting, sculpting, sanding, or joining pieces together. The work process thus becomes a way by which she can, through physical intervention, pose questions to the material itself and point to the narratives inherent in the objects. Such is also the work Going Blank Again, the act of emptying, where she uses cutting for returning the plate to its primary stage, actually which is the state it was before getting decorated. In her expression, the tension between the recognizable and the enigmatic, the ordinary and the unexpected are simultaneously present. In Elli Saarinki's work, playful attitude in relation to material and color have an important role. The work Pencil Jewelry is result of the play when she was looking after concrete use of colored artifacts, the pencils. For her, inspiration for the new piece is not to be found in the area of function or meaning for the piece, but instead to the sphere of materiality. Waste, recycling, and using unexpected materials in unique finished pieces inspires her. However, she does not see recycling intentionally the main theme of her work. Virpi Vesainen-Laukkanen works are interpretations of woman's life. She gets her inspiration from her daily experiences. The new works are born when these experiences meet materials that our culture has produced. She likes recycled materials that have traveled through many hands, as there are also the materials that are imbued with the life. For example, the textile sculpture, Sweetie, is made of thousands of candy wrappers, as you can see. From inside each wrapper, a sweet delicacy was once unwrapped and eaten with the feelings of either gratification or guilt. Tuija Markonsalo works in the borderline between craft, contemporary art, jewelry, and textile art. Her works are a combination of found objects, recycled materials, beds, and paint. No Parking is first artwork from the series influenced by graffiti art from East London and wall paintings from West Africa, Benin. And the two last cases I will introduce under the topic together. Even though the idea of recycling and especially the idea of originality will be strongly present in these two last pieces. So in her work, Silja Puranen parallels painting and embroidery. The idea is to speculate on the value of an artwork in relation to the technique and material of the work, and the originality and uniqueness of the piece, and the gender of the artist or the branch of art. So there are running parallel time many themes. With her works, she wants to challenge the viewer with the question, what actually is fine or pure art? The piece Temptress is based on painting of Akseli Kallen-Kallela, so this is the original painting. One of the Finland's most renowned artists of the national romantic era in 19th century. And this is her work. Her interactive embroidery work gives the authority of the work to the public. Thus, via stitches of numerous authors, the copy of the original painting becomes original work, and the heroic male painting is replaced by prosaic feminine stitch. So, for example, this photo has been taken in the exhibition. In the museum, the work was placed just on the normal room, on the table, where each of the visitors could make stitches to this piece. So as you can see, there are scissors, and then there are some instructions how to continue this textile work. And finally, Anna Rikkinen and Nelly Tanner have been collaborative since 2005. Tamed is a part of the series of artworks where viewers are invited to participate to the construction of the work. The starting point of this particular work is a hornless deer which encourages viewer for actions to make horns to the animal from the jewelry-related objects. With the work, they want to challenge the idea of the originality and identity. Through the tamed, they ask if we should, instead of speaking about original identity, conceive identity as a construction of different layers, and whether some of these layers could be borrowed one. So, for the conclusions. Dutch art historian Lisbeth den Besten proposes that craft is about the ability to develop one's own materials, technique and knowledge with which one can then create meaning and appear to an observer to become involved and create their own stories. Therefore, according to her, the meaning of skill is more in mediating what one has to tell than in maintaining traditional techniques and materials. According to Den Besten, the meaning of the craft work is in the human touch, in the immanent factors of time and dedication, and in the stories they evoke. According to the Finnish craft researcher Anna-Maria Ihatsu, conventional craft communicates directly with the user by function and skill, whereas content-oriented crafts resorts to personal emotions. Where conventional craft leaves little room for questions, personal interpretations, and suppositions, content-oriented craft may raise many questions, even leading a person into a state in which they can process some of the fundamental questions of life. And with these words, I welcome you to visit in Cheongju International Craft Biennale 2011 to find out what kind of questions and stories the collection of Finnish craft works arise in your mind and heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 여러분 너무 재밌게 잘 들으셨죠? 대답을 안 하시나요? 즐거우시고